Hope is a very substantial and powerful thing, because if you don't have it, you're defeated before you start. The one thing that is worse than trying and failing is not trying.
For the record, feminism, by definition, is the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. How can we affect change in the world when only half of it is invited or feel welcome to participate in the conversation?
I was born in Houston, but both my parents are from Greece, and so we go back every summer.
California and Austin.
Austin.
I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
I'm from Harlingen, Texas.
Probably about 5 to 7 female friends and 2 to 3 male.
I have about 12 to 15 female friends and about 5 male friends.
Present-day feminism isn't like what it originated from. I'm not a fan of modern-day feminism, primarily because I feel like it focuses on a lot of non-issues, or because it relies on misinformation to perpetuate these issues that it focuses on trying to solve.
I believe that it's something that's necessary for us to adopt into our society, because it's already something that's there, but it's something that needs to become more present, because women really do have a harder time in society and in jobs and just in daily life because they are women. And so feminism is something that we need to look at with a higher regard.
People should be equal, no matter your gender or your sexuality or anything.
I think that's very much up to the person, because there is no fake people. It's just like, if you're a good person and if you're happy with who you are, then I'd say that makes you a real man or not.
I don't know that it should become a focus, but it should definitely become more relevant, because it's something that it's not really paid attention to right now. And I think men are not as secure in themselves because they don't know how to define masculinity. They only see what's in media, what's in TVs, and that's usually like, oh, you have to be a tough guy, you have to be like strong, you have to... They have a lot of definitions set for them by the media that are unrealistic and not necessarily the case for every man. So I think that it should become more relevant.
Definitely. I think that there's very many issues with masculinity that we need to approach and take down, because it is very toxic to our society.
I think American culture has kind of a stilted view of both masculinity and femininity. Again, masculinity is not really talked about except for what's seen in movies, and so you kind of have to be forced into that ideal, and for a long time that was the only accepted ideal, and so that was the main attitude in America. And then as far as feminism, it's kind of a similar thing where for a long time women only had, like, they were only supposed to be homemakers, they weren't supposed to be in the workplace, and that's kind of not continued, but at the same time it's still kind of lingered around. So I don't think that America has the greatest attitude towards both masculinity and femininity.
So I think my culture is pretty mixed on feminism. Here's why. So down in the valley, Harlingen, there's a very large left-wing culture. So people tend to vote Democratic and such. But the problem with feminism, I think, in their eyes, is that it focuses heavily on issues like contraception and abortion. which is very divisive because not only are they left-wing, but they're also very, very Catholic. So even though they may economically and on some social issues lean Democratic as opposed to conservative or Republican, the issue of abortion and therefore feminism tends to be more divisive. But I have known a lot of feminists and also a lot of people who aren't feminists.
That's like less than you, or to like be treated as more than like any other person, because we're all people. I mean, male, female, we're all still people.
I think it's safe to say that it's definitely more feminist leaning. I've met very few people who share similar ideals to mine, and even those who, now I will admit that I have met some people who identify as feminists, but don't necessarily agree with third wave feminism. There aren't very many people, like-minded people on campus. And those who I do think do share similar views to myself aren't likely to speak up about it because they know they're outnumbered.
I would say that St. Edward's is definitely more feminist because having mostly female friends, like I hear a lot of that side of things, and it's liberal arts school, so everyone's kind of on that. Yeah, you don't see much hyper-masculinity around here.
So I would say that St. Ed's is more of a liberal open campus, so I would say that it's more feminist because we're more accepting to see people doing what they feel they need to be doing instead of like what society feels they should be doing.
'Cause no one knows me, no one else.